Oh, geez. I am stoked after that last one to like not suck. I don't know. All right, are we all ready to get going?
Yeah, so a couple of really weird things for this. So this is a work in progress. You're going to be playing the full thing, but it could go completely off the rails. So if that's the case, that'll be fun. This is being built for a podcast some friends of mine do called Escape This Podcast. They do audio-based escape rooms. This is going to be a wacky one. We're recording it next week. So yeah, you guys get to beta test the first full version of it. So
Cool.
it'll be fun. Chat needs to be open, so everyone should have your Zoom chat open. I will be sending you messages, text, or links throughout. You'll have to click on different things. So yeah, you'll see it's going to become much more important at a certain point. So just be aware that chat is going to be used. I'm also going to be sharing my screen at different points. So this is an example of what that looks like. I will be drawing things for you. So just be aware I think it's gonna try to claim your whole screen at different points. So yeah, so there's that.
If you guys want to, by the way, when that pops up, if it full screens you, there's an option to make it so that it doesn't full screen you. So you can still read the chat, for instance, while that's open, but only if you like click the drop down when he goes to the screen share. I don't know if you want to. Do you guys want him to try it again to try it?
Oh no, it worked fine for me.
Okay.
Yeah, like my chat's like a separate like window. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is going to be a little more role-play-y. You don't have to play characters; just be yourself. I will be playing the omniscient DM, GM, narrator, dungeon master, what have you. You will be playing yourselves. I'll also be playing a couple of characters. Basically, it's cooperative, but you will be getting stuff along the way that only you might see. That will not happen until a little bit later. You'll know when that's going to be happening. When you read something to yourself, you should share it with the group. There's no reason to hide it. We're not playing Werewolf for Mafia. It's cooperative. But imagine that you're getting information you want to share with the group. And then it's going to play out. Your goals are cooperative, but you are in charge of your own actions. So if you want to do something, say what you're going to do. If you say, I've climbed the ladder, you've climbed the ladder. I will tell you the consequences. So once you can discuss what you want to do. But once you lock into what you want to do, that's your action and what you've done. It's hard to die. You have to really try. I will give you narrative guardrails to say.
But you can die.
Yes.
Yeah, if you would, the first escape room that you can actually die in. Let's go.
Well, that's the thing. People want to do stuff that they can't normally do. So I will give you guardrails and moments to say, like, are you sure you want to do that? And if you say yes, then you may not enjoy what happens. That being said, I will try to keep everything on the rails. You can also ask for help if you'd like along the way, but you are a seasoned group. I do not think you need that. And with that, ready to start when you guys are.
Let's do it.
What happens if one of us dies? Do we become ghosts and haunt? Like that? I'm actually really concerned about this. Do we haunt our friends with like, Carl, please try this combination? Or is it like, we're dead?
Streamer,
like,
avenge me!
We have to turn off our stream over, like.
Yeah. Also, you have pen and paper ready. It's not going to be as crazy as your last game, but one last thing. I'm going to give directions about like certain room layouts. You do not actually need to know where things are in the room. All you need to worry about is what is in the room, not where it is. Cool. With that, let's get started. You wake up. Your eyes are closed. You slowly open them to a pleasant humming sound mixed with a rhythmic thumping of a heart. Hello. Thank you for bearing with me. I am sure you must be very confused right now, but don't worry. Everything will make sense soon, I promise. In the meantime, to help you wake up, I'd like you to share the last thing you remember. Be brief, but specific. You are wearing purple jumpsuits and sitting on Spartan metal chairs in an otherwise empty gray room. A person wearing a white jacket bearing the name Roland stands in front of you, awkwardly reading from a clipboard and staring at something on the back wall. You may even glance back and notice the black wall is blank. Each of you squints and thinks to yourself, what is the last thing I remember? Your memory is hazy for some reason. It's hard to latch on to anything. Let's start with you. A. You look down and notice you each have a lettered patch, A, D, N, or R, on your otherwise identical jumpsuits. Now, A, please raise your hand and share with me the last thing you remember. Would A please raise your hand? Thank you. It's okay to be confident. Thank you so much, A. What's the last thing you remember? Oh, go ahead.
I was eating pizza, and then I felt something hit me in the back of the head.
Very nice. Thank you so much for sharing.
I'm D.
Oh, thank you so much. You were D?
Yes, I was D.
Please.
Yes, I was at a gentleman's club. Yes, appreciating the arts, and that is the last thing I remember.
Very good. Thank you so much, D. N, please raise your hand. Thank you, N.
I was in a swimming pool and I swam down to the bottom. That's the last I remember.
Very nice. And just for posterity, R, if you could please raise your hand. Thank you so much, R. And what's the last thing you remember?
I was eating a lot of tacos and drinking water.
Very good. Thank you so much, all of you. Now, I understand that sharing may have been difficult or awkward, but don't worry. Confusion, haziness, and some memory loss are common side effects from this intake process. You'll be back to normal in no time, I promise. Now, if you could please stand and follow me. You stand and follow Roland out of the room and down a long metal corridor. The halls run on in all directions, and it feels like an endless maze. If you weren't following someone, you'd think it'd be possible to get lost in this place probably forever. As you walk, you notice the word live, L-I-V, spelled out in thick letters in the back of each of your jumpsuits. The hallway seems grid-like, as if there's some sort of organizational structure to this place, but you struggle to grasp it. Every hallway, door, floor, ceiling, it looks identical. It's impossible to get any kind of bearings here. Roland stops in front of a thick metal door. How Roland knew to stop at this one is beyond you because the door is blank. Roland taps their watch and types on the keypad, too quickly for you to notice what buttons are pressed. The red light on the keypad turns green as the door disengages and a gust of air rushes out. You walk through a small antechamber, noticing a strange foot-long gap that runs between the floor wall and ceiling. You take care to step over the gap and come to one more door. Roland beckons you to open it, and you, after another whoosh of sterilized air, step into a large room. I'm happy to draw this for you if you would like. The room is roughly 20 feet by 40 feet. You've come through the south wall. To your left are a series of beds labeled with the same letters as your jumpsuits. A small vent peeks out underneath one of the beds. A bookshelf is in the northwest corner. There's a table and some chairs bolted to the floor in the middle of the room. There's a weird set of lockers in the northeast corner. In the southeast corner, there is a little privacy area that has a shower nozzle and a toilet with a drain at the gap. And lastly, there's a sink along the south wall with no mirror. And as the door shuts automatically behind you, you notice in a plastic case on the back of it is a daily schedule. Everyone got this? We got a sense of it?
Sure.
Okay. Here are your accommodations for the duration of the study. It's been built for your comfort and safety. This daily schedule on the back of the door is, well, we'll follow it daily until you get discharged, and well, that's weird. This schedule is completely off. Please ignore it. Don't even look at it. I'll have a new one put up tomorrow. A staff member such as myself will be along at every interval to help you with these routines. As it is already late, we'll end today and begin bright and early tomorrow with day one. I will let you get settled. You really should go to bed soon. Sleep well. And with that, Roland heads to the door, taps their watch, types into the keypad, and exits, leaving you to yourselves.
All right.
All right.
Hey, guys. Hey, there's 2 beds and 4 of us. I call a bed.
I call cuddling.
There are 2
me
sets of bunks. So there's 4 beds.
Okay, there's bunks. Okay.
Yes.
I want top bunk.
I call Beast.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Everyone's like, I'll sleep with Beast. Okay. First thing I'd like to do is grab that schedule, possibly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to look at the schedule.
The schedule's on the back of the door in a plastic case. Think of something you'd see at a rec center or a movie theater. I'm going to share it with you because as you stare at it, you notice something strange. The plastic, so the schedule looks like this, but you notice something. There's a scratch on the plastic. You see that the 5 is kind of furiously like scratched around, and there's a line that's scratched over to the U. And then the 6 is also scratched, but the line kind of fades as if someone was interrupted.
Okay. I don't know if you hear my dog. I'm really sorry.
Well, I mean, right there, 5 to you. So 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'd go to the end. You know?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's almost like we did this puzzle in the last one. Hey. No.
A big brain move right there.
So wait, are you guys gonna keep that up on the screen? Because
look in the chat.
Oh, nice,
okay.
nice.
I don't know if I necessarily have it set up to do this, but
yeah, I don't have. Chat can't see this, but
don't worry, they can see it on mine. I got it. All right, so we got you, and
7D,
D,
8E.
I'm imagining that one's R.
It is.
So what's the letters?
It's under
bed.
Bed.
Under beds. Okay. We would like to search under the beds, please.
Are you sure that's? I mean, you can.
Wait. Yeah, it doesn't say bed. Hold on.
Wait.
Wait, what? Under bed A. Under bed A.
That's my bed.
Yeah, so you look and you see bed A actually has a vent peeking out from underneath it, but why would something tell you to look at something you would just investigate on your own? Well, you decide to look at the vent first. The vent is large. It goes under most of the bed. It's like 2 feet by 3 feet. It's made of very thick metal. The grating is really small. You can barely get a finger or two inside, and you feel there are screw heads around the edge of it. You can't see them. It's too dark. They feel complicated, like there's some kind of special tool you might need. The vent is really secured. You can't lift it. It's very, very secured. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you see there's a yellow wire running along the inside of the vent, along the wall. You can't get to it, and you can't see where it goes, but the yellow wire is inside. And you're done investigating. You don't really see anything else of note. And that's when you think about what you deciphered. Under bed A. And you turn your head around. The bed frame is metal. And as you stare at it, you do notice something is scratched into the metal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So in the metal, it says, "Don't." Well, I'm definitely reading this out loud. Don't read this out loud, and don't look at this too long. They're watching and listening to everything. If you don't, keep in mind we're all reading this silently in our heads, guys. This is roleplay. They're watching and listening to everything. If you don't act quickly, you will not survive. The experiment will end sooner than you expect, and there's nothing you can do except escape. The facility has no exit, at least not a normal one. But first, you'll have to go And
what's strange is the writing doesn't stop. It's scratched into the metal, but as the writing goes on, the writing becomes more erratic and harder to read. The U and the N are the last letters that are legible. After that, it becomes almost like an animal scratched something into the metal. You can see the scratching goes along the frame, along the legs of the bed, on the floor, and that's odd. It goes into the vent.
Okay. So seems like someone possibly got dragged into the vent.
Or turned into something?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can we go back to that room layout, please?
Yeah, what was the bookshelf in the corner, was it?
Yeah, you go to the bookshelf. The bookshelf, it's pretty empty. There's one book on it. It's a gray book. It looks like a textbook. There's no writing on the front or back of it. And you lift it up. It's empty and blank. The pages, they're completely smooth. You hold them up to the light, looking for secret writing of some kind. There's not. It's an empty, giant textbook, which is weird. And that's when you go to put it back and you notice something. There's something written in the dust, as if someone carved it for you.
Huh. 02C or
is that an L?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It could be a 2.
It looks like a 2 and a C that are handwritten, but that circle thing, it looks roughly the size of a dime, and it looks like it was traced.
Yeah, circle's perfect.
Oh, use that to see?
Oh.
Use like a hole to see?
Or
is there a hole that?
Or we might not have. Yeah, we probably don't have whatever we need yet.
But we have the drains by the shower too. I don't know if we could look down the drain or something.
Yeah, you look at the holes in the drain and the sink are both really small. They're basically like millimeter size. They're tiny.
Okay.
There's nothing inside.
Do you mind pulling the room layout back up for us, please?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't save it, but I can. Oh, I did. And there you go.
Perfect. Good. So there's the beds. That was the
bookshelf,
right?
Yes.
The lockers, yeah.
The lockers are weird. You don't even know how you know they're lockers because they're entirely smooth and there's no locking mechanism or handle or even hinges. You don't even know how many technically there are. It's just like a giant smooth, kind of like what you have behind you. And you push them and nothing happens. It's weird. Yeah, they don't open like that. Yeah, whatever mechanism opens these things is entirely on the inside.
Okay,
there's no way to see into them or anything. It's just a.
Yeah, you try your best, and you pull on them. They're firmly bolted to the wall and floor. They're even at an angle at the top, so you can't climb on top of them. And they're pretty tall and spacious. It seems they're like 6.5, 7 feet tall.
Is it possible to turn on the water in the shower?
Yeah, the shower, you kind of go into the little privacy area. There's a toilet, looks like a prison toilet, no tank.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Give me some privacy. We've been in there a long time. All right.
That's true.
You go ahead.
You push the flush button and it flushes just like an airport toilet, high pressure, no tank of any kind. The shower, the nozzle's pretty strong. All 4 of you could hang from it and nothing would happen. There's a little button you push and it turns on the shower. You can't adjust the temperature or the pressure. It's got one pressure, sandblasting, and the water is freezing. There's a little soap dispenser next to it. It dispenses a brown sludge-like substance that smells vaguely of pine. You're really starting to question when Roland said this place was built for your comfort.
I feel like
we aim the shower head?
It seems pretty stuck. It seems got one spot on the floor it aims at.
Not to switch gears, but something's telling me there's something under the table. Like there'd be
let's check out the table.
Hint under the table or something.
Yeah, you look at the table, it's pretty blank. It just got screws and sockets and things, and they're tamper-proof, so that thing is firmly bolted down, as are all 4 chairs.
We can't look under the table?
Yeah, you look under the table, there's really nothing there. It's just some shadows and dust.
What was it that's to the right of the door again?
The sink. You go to the sink. There's no mirror, but there's a sink, something again akin to a prison. If the shower is high pressure, the sink is not. It's barely, dripping water out that's freezing. You do notice something. There's an orange pipe beneath the sink that is pretty big, and it drains into the hole in the floor. You can't get access to it. The pipe is seemingly very well secured.
Can I pick up the chairs next to the table?
The chairs are bolted down just like the table, and as you're examining the top of the table, you do notice something green in the reflection of the brushed metal, and you look up on the ceiling. You do see a green wire running along the top of the ceiling. On one end, you see it has a giant microphone dangling from the top. It's covered in like a metal case, so you couldn't damage it if you even wanted to get up there. And on the other end of it, along the wall, the green wire connects to a large camera with a red blinking light.
Okay, so we're being watched. We already knew that. What can we use or do anything with?
And with that, the lights begin to kind of fade. You think, and you're feeling kind of tired. You think you might want to go to bed.
All right.
I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
Enough of this jailbreaking.
Yeah. Not urgent, apparently.
I mean, yeah, you got a couple days, it feels, for the experiment. You're kind of getting sleepy. So you start to get into your relative beds, and You discover the beds are not very comfortable. The mattresses are thin. The sheets are attached to the mattress. The pillow and sheets are stained. You get comfortable as best you can, and as you fall asleep, you swear you can hear a strange, heavy breathing coming from the vent. As you finally drift off, you dream of a rocket taking off, a crew begging for help, and seeing a giant light somewhere in the distance, something wanting to know something. And you struggle to wonder what that is, and then you wake up. A loud alarm is blaring, and you feel restless and uneasy from that strange dream you've had, that each of you coincidentally had. Roland cheerfully enters the room holding a clipboard and carrying a tray of pills. Good morning, everyone. How did you sleep?
Terrible.
I'm so happy to hear it. My apologies about that incorrect schedule. As you can see, I've gone ahead and replaced it. And if you look at chat, you see the schedule now looks a lot less interesting. It seems to have been corrected and the plastic scratching has been removed. As you can see, we are beginning to wake up right now, right on time. We're going to go into spot check, bathing, and medication, and then exercise. I hope you're ready for a fun day. Now, to begin with spot check, please empty out your pockets. You turn out your pockets. You didn't even realize you had them in the jumpsuits, but none of you has anything interesting in there anyway. Good. I'm so happy to see you're behaving properly. I will be collecting anything that's not approved for the study. Now, could you please follow me? Roland directs you to the lockers. Roland taps their watch and the first locker pops open, revealing a set of brand new sparkling jumpsuits that are identical to the ones you're wearing. If you could please grab a new jumpsuit, go to the privacy area, shower, put on your new jumpsuit, and leave your old one in a pile on the floor here, next to the table. After you're done, we'll administer medication and it'll be time for your exercises. Now please, get started. One by one, and not seeing a reason to fight back, you take your jumpsuit, head to the privacy area, you bathe quickly under the freezing cold water and the disgusting soap, and put on your new jumpsuit, leaving the old one on the pile on the floor. As the last of you leaves, something strange happens. The drain from the shower begins burbling up with something. It's a dark red liquid. It doesn't smell good. It smells kind of like burning hair or rubber or something. And you notice this burbling liquid is coming out of the toilet and the sink drain as well. Roland looks at this horrified. Not again. Please, forgive me. I am going to go get someone from facilities. Roland hurries away, tapping their watch, putting in the code, and leaving you to your own devices. But you notice something. Roland has left behind a few things.
Let's see what Roland left.
Yeah.
Well, you see on the table, next to the pile of your old jumpsuits with their pockets still turned out, you notice that Roland has left behind the medication tray and a clipboard.
Let's look at his clipboard, yeah.
Yeah, let's look at the clipboard.
You look at the clipboard. It's on a clear plastic clipboard, and it's got a piece of paper that you swear you saw Roland reading from. And the clipboard is completely blank.
Can we look at the medication?
Yeah. What are the...
Yeah, you look at the medication tray. It has 4 paper cups, and each cup has 3 sets of pills. There is 1 circle, 1 square, and 1 triangle. The pills are white and blank and roughly the size of dimes.
Could we take the circle cup?
Yeah.
There are 4 cups. Each cup has 1 of each pill. So each cup has a circle, square, and triangle in it.
Okay, so could we take the... Okay, I would like to, and just me, to test this out. I would like to...
I'm in favor of this, Pooh.
Yes, I would like to take the circle pill, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want anyone else to die. Now that I know we can die, I'm a little... I would like to take the circle pill, consume it myself.
Okay. So D, you take a circle pill. It's hard to dry swallow it. It feels weird, but you swallow it down and you feel fine.
Now I would like to look at the clipboard.
So you look at the clipboard. It's blank, but then something strange happens to you. You see something.
Guys,
what do you see?
This pill has some sort of magic on it because it allows me to read what is on the clipboard. Notice for all Rolands. All Rolands is what it says, meaning there's more than one. All hands on staff meeting during exercise routine. Required attendance for all departments. Monitor live carefully. Aberration in previous iteration. Examine file and records for details. Dosage restrictions. Ensure all 3 medication types are taken at once. Otherwise, senses may develop. Do not allow more than 2 of any one medication to be taken at once. If extra senses develop, notify Arnold immediately. 1 extra counsel, 3 supradecibel, 4 spatial sensory. I probably spelled that wrong. 5 forbidden only for Arnold. Also, I want to mention that in this thing, a T is circled and an O is circled as well, or it has a square around them.
And based on your amazing reading of that, all of you have excellent memories, and you can picture this perfectly. And so you are not reading.
All right.
So you are not reading this. You are just imagining this.
Okay, so we can take multiple of the same pill, or one person could. Is what it was cautioning us against, right? So you could do that on purpose, potentially, to get potentially cool abilities that might be useful to us. That's what I got from that. Yeah. Did anyone else get anything interesting?
I wanted Pooh to take another D.
Yeah.
Or a circle pill. I mean.
Well, I think I'd have to take 3. I think I'd have to take 3 circle pills.
Have you ever taken 3 Ds at once before, Pooh?
Not since I've been married, you know, like.
DGR is dead.
Oh.
Okay, is that could I take 2 more circle pills myself?
Maybe 1 at a time? Question mark? I don't know. Or...
Yes, like okay, so Carl, can I borrow your circle pill, please?
Here you go, buddy.
Thank you.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Peace, could I also borrow your circle pill?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to
unzip. Wait, no.
Yes, I would like to consume both of those circle pills, preferably, making me a 3 circle pill.
You're a real champ for dry swallowing 2 more dime-sized pills, but you do it. Your stomach feels a little bit weird and queasy, but you get them down and you feel fine.
All right.
2 if anyone should be taking it.
What were the other pills we had? We had a square and a triangle one?
Yes.
Does anyone want to try one of the other ones? I mean, I can do it, or someone else wants to try it.
Do not allow more than 2 if any medication should be taken at once. Vector senses develop.
Yeah, it says supradecibel, which maybe Pooh has like super hearing now. Maybe he should listen to the drain.
Yes.
That we heard the growling.
Could I go listen to the drain?
Yeah, you give it a listen, and you don't really hear anything. Your hearing doesn't feel that special.
Okay.
Conical? What the heck is extra conical? Spatial
maybe
sense
like for your vision.
Yeah.
Vision,
and sensory.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a 6th sense.
You're right. So 1 lets you hear, 3 lets you, or 1 lets you see, 3 lets you hear, 4 is spatial.
I've swallowed 3 circles, and I apparently can't hear any. I'm not hearing anything.
Differently, yeah.
And Pooh, if you were to still look at the clipboard, you would still see it. No one else could see it.
Okay.
So you do have some sort of like special vision right now.
Well, can I look around the room? Like, let's say I want to
look at the scratch underneath the bed too.
Oh,
again?
Yeah, the scratch looks the same.
I would like to look at the sink where the mirror would be.
Yeah, there's just a sink.
I would like to look at the lockers or the bookshelf.
Yeah, you see the lockers. The locker is still open, the first one. It's empty on the inside. It's pretty sizable, though. You could fit a couple people in there and have a party. You go to the bookshelf.
The book!
Great book.
The book itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good idea. Yes.
Yeah, you go to the bookshelf, and you notice it does not look the same as it did before.
Sweet.
Okay, I would like to... What is different about the bookshelf itself?
Check your chat.
Oh. So, guys, this looks like a medical textbook. The words are big and complicated, and hard to understand, and the book is filled with boring graphs and data. But then I turn and see images in the book, and they are horrifying. Graphic autopsies, dissections, you know, we're cutting things up. The bodies are scarred,
including these words,
and disfigured horribly. I don't want to look at it anymore. I can't handle it. It's too much.
What if you were to take another pill? Would you want to look more?
I mean, I might as well. You know what? The 3 pills didn't hurt. Can I take the last pill?
This is how we get the bad ending right here.
Can I take the last circle pill, please?
You want to take the 4th pill?
I will take the last circle pill, yes. I am only taking circle pills.
Okay, you take the final circle pill. There are no circles left. You feel a little bit weird, but you don't feel like your vision has enhanced whatsoever. You just feel a little weird now, but yeah, you feel the same.
Right. Who did not die?
More pills to poo.
I know, I feel like... well, what about these triangles?
You do want to glance over to... well, you think about how Jacobson, or excuse me, not Jacobson, Roland came in and out of the room. There's a keypad next to the door. I'm going to give you a very quick walkthrough. As you can see, it's very useful. There's a red light on the top. It turns green when the code is entered correctly. As you can see, the numbers have nothing on them. And beneath it is a weird hole that seems to fit some kind of USB stick if you were to have one.
Can Pooh look at the panel and see anything on it?
Yeah, can you see like fingerprints or anything?
So now you look, and you have to stare at it a little bit longer than the others. This is hard to see, but there is something there.
All right. I am pulling it up right now. It is a keypad. But it is not ordered correctly. I just want to say that. Up top we have 349, then 150 in the second row, 286 third row, 7. It looks like C, number C, and then a star.
And now that you have that down, you feel like any code you get, you could probably put in correctly.
All right, so we're potentially looking for a code to get out of the room.
I don't know. Maybe I should take one of the pills.
I was thinking
as you debate which pills to take, you look around the room and you just see the only thing you really haven't looked at is the pile of jumpsuits that you've taken off, their pockets turned out.
Let's look at those and the pockets. Yes, I want to look at everything in the room with my scene.
Everything looks the same. You don't feel like anything else is jumping out to you, D. But for, you look at the old jumpsuits. There is nothing in the old jumpsuits. They're completely empty.
Okay.
They don't have letters or numbers on them or anything like that.
They have the letters that you had the one prior and the words LIV on the back.
Yeah. Okay.
But you are wearing brand new jumpsuits.
Is there anything in our new pockets of our jumpsuits?
Yeah, you would be surprised if there were, but sure enough, you reach in and you find scraps of something in your jumpsuits. 4 of them.
Can we look at the?
Oh, they're in the.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The door code is how many participants, and I'm gonna need to open more windows here. Our study number of the minutes in the current time. Can anybody brain this together better than my jank setup right here?
I know.
I'm trying.
Is I maybe 1 instead of I? Or 1 study number of
I know, I hate my imager. The bottom left, it's like, oh god.
The current time.
The door code is how many participants?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys handle this one.
You have the special vision.
Oh god, I have like there's too many windows. If I had an easier way to do this, I have like 700 windows open.
Minus minutes in the current number of minutes in the current time. The number of people in your study.
Minus the number of minutes in the current time.
Well, I don't know if that's minus. I think I got that mixed with minutes.
Yeah, it's minutes.
I think it's minutes. And the minutes in the current time.
So 4.
Is there a clock anywhere?
Okay, there is no clock. There's not even any windows in the room. And as you are sorting your scraps of paper on the table, the door opens. and in walks a man in a yellow jumpsuit. He has a large wrench on his belt along with a walkie-talkie. There's something written on the wrench, but you can't see it as he moves. He looks at you awkwardly. Excuse me, he mumbles. He looks around and sees that the red, disgusting liquid is bubbling out of the drain still. He goes over to it, inspects the toilet and the drain, and then heads over to the sink. He takes his wrench and puts it against the pipe, and it fits. He then pulls out his walkie, hits a button on the top, and begins to talk. Yeah, this is yellow. Can you hit orange? Another clog, it seems. He then puts the walkie down and opens up one of the pipes. Immediately, he is blasted in the face with this foul-smelling liquid. God damn it, he swears. He wipes his face off and puts the pipe back. He grabs the walkie angrily. I said orange. I swear to God, do you know how this place works? Is this your first... Oh, well, what did you hit? And at that moment, the lights begin to flicker on and off. No, I didn't say red. No. We're going to go over this again. I don't care if it is your first day. They shouldn't have you running this. Red is power. Orange is plumbing. I'm yellow. Got it? And do not even hit green. Yeah, I don't care. Idiot. The lights flicker back on stably, and he sighs as he puts the walkie down behind him. He pulls the pipe out. It is long. It comes out of the hole in the ground beneath the sink, and he sets the pipe down, the red liquid kind of dribbling out. He sighs as he stares into the hole, rolls up his sleeves, takes off his watch, puts it on top of the walkie, and begins reaching in and pulling out chunks of something inside of the hole. He's pretty focused on his work right now.
Can we look at his watch to see what time it is?
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, the watch is on top of the walkie. You may not want to inspect it right next to him, but you could probably get it away from him if you wanted.
Could we sneakily...
Maybe a pill gives us like stealth abilities.
You feel like you are preternaturally stealthy. He's also pulling out weird chunks of something. He's pretty preoccupied and kind of mumbling to himself. So I think you could probably do it without getting caught.
Yes. Beast would like to sneakily, specifically him, not me, go observe what time or what the watch is saying. What is on the watch?
Well, you let's just say you kick the watch and the walkie away from him, so now you can inspect them if you'd like.
Okay, what time is on the watch?
Well, the watch is weird. It looks like a watch. It's definitely the one that Roland was wearing. It's got a wristband and a clasp, and well, the watch face is weird. It's just a triangle. There's no writing. There's no numbers. It's a flat, smooth piece of metal. There's not even a button on it.
Could I look at the watch with my crazy eyes?
Yeah. Do you look at the watch and it's got nothing. It's just, it looks actually more like a piece of jewelry now that you see it. There's nothing on it. You don't even know, you thought it was a watch, but now it's blank.
The walkie-talkie. I would like to examine that as well.
It looks like a walkie. It has the talk button and it's got the speaker and mic on the bottom, and on the top it's got 4 buttons. They're colored. One is red, one is orange, one is yellow, and one is green.
He said absolutely never press green, so I'm gonna just go over there. You know, I haven't taken any pills. I haven't really. I'm sort of expendable in this situation, so I think we're gonna just sneakily tap that green button right there. It's nice and shiny.
You hit green, and the orange button that was pressed pops up. So only one button can be hit at a time. You hit green, and nothing happens.
Well, fine then.
Can we call for green?
If you would like.
Like, I guess where the guy doesn't hear us, though.
Yeah, you if you go in the corner of the room by the bookshelf, he probably can't hear you.
Whisper in.
I would like to also steal the wrench, if that's possible.
It is currently attached to his belt with a carabiner and an elastic band, so I don't think you're able to get that.
Never mind.
Could I grab
I mean, we could just like
hit him?
Overpower him.
We could overpower him. Maybe that's not a good idea.
Garbage watch.
So, you went to the corner and said green?
Well, I also thought the watch is shaped like a triangle, and nobody's taken the triangle pill yet. Maybe
also
that could be let you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's taking the triangle pill?
I'll take the triangle pill.
Yeah.
Dude,
R.
Attaboy.
I could just see like the entire game crumbling before. Oh wait, did he lag out?
Oh,
I think Tommy lagged out.
Oh
Tommy.
no.
Oh no!
Tommy?
Oh no! You killed him when you took the triangle pill, dude.
He was like, "This isn't going according to plan. Bail."
I'm out of here.
God damn it. Okay.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Yeah, my power keeps freaking out. Okay, well, let's keep going as fast as we can. And if I die again, I am sorry. Okay, so Thab, you take a triangle pill.
Yes.
Okay,
And-
you take one triangle pill and you feel completely normal. You feel actually a little refreshed. It's good.
Ooh.
And I look at the watch.
And the watch looks exactly the same.
Oh,
That's
right
not
then.
good.
Should we force another one down?
Yeah, 4 triangle pills or abandon the strategy.
we could try
Well-
turning the power off with the red button, and then steal stuff from him. I don't know.
Yeah, because with the camera's on right now, right? So what if we
Yeah.
want to whisper into we want to say into the walkie-talkie with the red button down to cut the power? Or I'm still not exactly sure whether we're talking to people on the other end and telling them to do it or how that
Yeah.
situation is. YOLO, try it.
I mean, we might as well try it.
I pushed down the red button on the walkie-talkie.
Okay, you push it down. The other buttons pop up. Red is the only one selected.
I say turn off the power in. I don't know. Do we know what are we doing?
Tell him to press the green button.
What are we doing?
Can we say, hey, this is the maintenance guy.
This is
They
yellow.
sent the wrong place.
Yeah, this is
The
yellow.
power needs switched. Maybe like
Okay.
it's an on-off, and he will
I like
set
it
it to
then.
the opposite.
Okay, so who's gonna radio that in?
Who's pretty good at talking to people? I mean,
Hey, okay, here I got it. Hey, buddy, it's me again, Yellow. Sorry for getting so mad at you. I know your first day can be really hard. I remember my first day here. I was super confused. Don't worry about it. Listen, do you remember that? Guys, do we want him to hit the green button or the red button?
Red button.
You remember that red button? You mind hitting that for me just one time, please?
And the person says, "Who the hell is this? I thought that's my first. It's not my first day. That's Orange, the idiot over in Orange. What do you want? This is power."
Oh, you know what? That's my fault. Been a long day. I'll talk to you soon. Click awkwardly. Over to Orange, where I repeat verbatim the exact same thing.
Wait. Don't we want to actually get red to push the button though?
yeah, Orange is plumbing. We could
No, but
mess
we were
with
talking to Orange first, and he had access to all the
I think-
buttons.
Did he? Oh, okay. Oh, is that how it works? Jeez, I don't understand how this works. All right.
Yeah, because the first guy, he hit the red button, and then something happened. He hit the yellow. You know what I mean? He hit buttons and things happened.
Okay.
So we click the orange button, and I say verbatim, "Hey, buddy, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's your first day. I'm really nice." I'm throwing my voice so it sounds like the guy, because I have that ability, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's just a superpower I have. So I'm mimicking the maintenance man voice as well, and I say, "Hey, buddy, could you hit that red button for me?"
And he kind of sighs and says, "You were really mean to me earlier."
Well,
Butter
we
'em
just
up,
got off.
Pooh.
We got off on the wrong foot. I apologize for that. It's been a stressful time at home, as it is for everybody right now. You know, the pandemic. I'm sorry about that. But do you mind hit? You know what? If you can't hit the red button, try the green one.
But you told me to read the manual and follow procedure. I'm not supposed to touch anything except orange.
All right, buddy. You know what? Hit the orange button first. Just go ahead and hit that orange button.
Oh, are you done with the clog? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, the guy working on the pipe is blasted with red sludge as it erupts in a geyser. He is livid. He's kind of stumbling backwards. His face is covered. He doesn't even see where he's going, and he is pissed.
Perfect. Tell him to hit the red button. Tell him that was great. That was great. Now you just gotta hit the red button.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully some got in his mouth.
Okay, hey bud, that actually backfired on me. I'm really gonna need you to hit the green button now because there's sludge going everywhere.
But that's the one you told me not to hit, especially. Like, if I hit that, I'm gonna get in huge trouble. And will you cover for me?
I will, I promise.
Well, listen, the all hands is coming up soon, and I don't want to be late. So here's what I'm gonna do. You cover for me. Got it? Okay. I'm gonna hit it and have it automatically come back on in 5 minutes. So you got whatever you gotta do, and then I'm gonna go. Okay. So just cover for me, and green will come back in 5 minutes. Okay.
Sounds like a great idea.
And don't be late. I know we can't be late to the meeting. Okay.
Gotcha.
So with that, the radio goes silent, and you see the camera light has turned off.
Ooh.
All right.
Can we overpower the?
Let's overpower the sludge man.
Get him!
It doesn't feel like it would be very hard. He is now blinded with the sludge. The geyser of sludge has stopped. Whatever was in there as a clog is now dislodged. You see piles of bones and this red sludge everywhere. And this guy's just stumbling around blindly. You overtake him. It's not hard. And you need to figure out where to put him.
Well, we got that.
Oh,
In the locker. In the lockers,
right
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Right.
You slowly shove him in the locker. He doesn't really want to go, but he can't really object. He can't really even see right now. Anything you want to grab before you shut the locker? You feel it's going to be a one-way trip.
Grab his wrench.
His wrench.
Okay.
Yeah.
You grab the wrench off.
Does he have a USB stick at all?
You check his pockets. There's nothing that you find. And with that, you feel like 5 minutes is pretty nearly up.
Before he goes in the locker, I'd like to gently caress his face and whisper in his ear that it'll be okay.
And you feel him kind of like quiver at your touch, and he feels actually a little bit comforted by that.
Okay, good.
Aw.
And as you
Truly a man of the people.
and as you shut the door, you hear him whisper, "Thank you." Yeah, you shut the locker. And
actually, before we shut the locker, I would like to shove the arm sleeve. I would take one of our old suits, shove an arm sleeve into his mouth to create a gag as well.
Okay, you shove one of the old jumpsuits into his mouth.
I was thinking about gagging.
Yeah,
good call.
Yeah.
And you hear him mentally retract the thank you. Yeah, so now he's gagged, and yeah, you ready to shut the locker?
I think we are.
Yes.
You shut the locker, and you maybe knock back at him, and you hear nothing. It's pretty much soundproof. You look back up, and the camera light has started blinking again, and you wait, and nothing. No security, no alarms. Whatever you just did, you got away with.
Sweet.
Could we shove the sludge into the drain?
It's kind of like congealing. It's like separating into like fat and like weird stuff. You probably don't want to really even touch it. It's pretty messy.
Okay.
All right, what do we do with the wrench? So we have the wrench.
Well,
Yeah, you look at the wrench. Now that you have it, you see it says A48 and the wrench is yellow, but you aren't sure what that means.
A40.
Wasn't there something that we needed special tools? Was it?
That was the grate that had a
table
yellow
or
the
wire.
grate.
Yeah, the grating is really small. There's no way that wrench would probably help you open that at all. It wouldn't even fit under the bed.
Okay.
What about the piping under the sink? Is the pipe still off from the sink?
Yeah, he was getting ready to attach it again, but it kind of blew off with the geyser, so it's kind of next to the sink, covered in sludge.
I remember we had to circle to what was it?
We did that. We took the circle one to be able to see. So we did that clue, but we haven't done the clue yet where we have the number of people and the time for the pad.
That's true.
That's the keypad to get out, right? Is that right? And the keypad is weird.
And you think back to the since only D you were only able to see the clipboard, but you did mention the weird shape on that note circling two things, and you do notice that weird shape was the exact shape of the square pill you have.
Oh yes, as well. It was squares.
Yes, we had a square.
The notice for all Rollins. The notice for all Rollins as well.
Yeah, the notice for all Rollins had a square under meeting and records.
So Thab has taken a triangle pill, right?
Yes, he has. He's only taken one.
We need someone to take a square pill, guys.
All right, I'm doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Ends squaring up. Let's go.
Okay, you got one square.
All right.
Could he look at this note that I have right now?
with the square.
Yeah, no one else can see the note, but you maybe read it out loud, and it's weird. At certain words, and your brain tingles.
All meetings, all hands staff meeting. That's where your brain would tingle.
You aren't sure what that means. It still echoes in your head, but it's weak. You don't know what that means.
Okay, take more. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take 2 more square pills. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah.
Everyone agree with this?
Yes.
Take them, baby.
All right, I'm going deeper on the square pills. How many do we need to take for the?
You can take up to 4.
Yeah, I forget what we had in mind for like what we need for certain special abilities or whatever. But
well, yeah,
if you just take 1, it says you don't. That would be normal. You have to take 2, or you have to take more than 2 to get extra senses.
Okay, well, let's take 2. Look at it, and if that doesn't do anything, take 3.
Okay, so you've taken up to 3 now. So yeah, you think back to the word meeting, and you have new thoughts.
Oh, okay. So
hold on, let me read it again. There's also another word here. Monitor, live carefully. Aberration in previous iteration. Examine file in the
records. Okay, yeah.
Records.
Nice audio effect.
Whoa.
Okay. It says so. I get meeting. You could get there now if you were in the hallway. Records. You could get there if you were in the hallway.
And it's weird, and that's when everyone else notices, and your head is tilted towards the door. You feel like you're sensing things out in the hallway, and you can navigate to them without even having been there before. You're just certain keywords seem to trigger the navigation ability in your head, like you're somehow spatially aware of things.
Gotcha. So that's a spatial sensory awareness.
I think Thab should take some more.
Yeah,
triangle
pills. Take the more
4
triangles.
To go all the way to 4. Take them all, Thab.
Yeah, let's take the rest of the. I'll take the rest of the triangle pills.
Okay. You take the rest of the triangle pills. They're kind of hard to swallow. It's a weird shape, but you get them down, and yeah, you don't really feel any different. Your stomach's a little bit queasy, but you're fine.
How about we check out that watch now, Thab?
Yeah, can I check the watch?
Any more words or can do something with
yeah, the watch looks identical. It doesn't look any different. You think back to what you saw Roland do to the watch.
What did Roland
do you guys know what Roland did?
He would tap it like that, I thought.
Can we mess with the watch, tap the watch, do anything?
You tap the watch.
You tap the watch.
Okay. A cheerful voice has told me that the time appears to be 6:03.
6:03.
Okay.
Minus the number of people. Oh wait.
No, there was no minus. It was just
minutes. So that could be for the keypad then.
Does the cheerful voice know if this is 6 hours or 6 minutes?
You think it was reading a time like a regular watch.
Okay.
The code. Code is.
So it would be. Is the number of people in your party and the minutes in the current time, which would just be. Or in your study.
Is it 3 or is it like hours converted to minutes?
It says 6:03.
You didn't recall Roland doing complex mathematics whenever they have to watch.
Would it just be 4:3? Like
yeah, is it just 4:03 then?
4 and then
what?
3?
That seems too simple. Or 4:03 or
0.
Is it 4:6? Can we try 4:6:03 and 4:03? I don't know.
You try the first 4:6:03 using the keypad vision that D has. 4:6:03 does not work, but then you try 4:03 and the red light turns green.
Yay!
Okay. All right.
Okay, maybe Laurel should investigate because he's.
Yeah, so you lead the way. You step through the large, weird antechamber. You step over that foot-long gap in the floor, and you come out to the hallway. And you have a moment. You feel odd. You orient yourself to the space and kind of close your eyes. And the rest of you look around. You see there are colored pipes that run along the ceiling. it's interesting. There are different colors. You see, some of them are all faded. There's one that's bright though. One colored pipe is yellow. You feel like maybe you could follow it around. The rest of them seem faded and maybe not worth following. And you have some new senses that you can share with the group about where to go.
Okay, so on the left, I sense a sense of organization and structure. So I'm guessing that's whereas on the right, I feel a large gathering of people. So the meeting is happening on the right, and the left is like something in the ship, I guess.
Yeah.
Something
We
structural.
also have a yellow wrench for maybe that relates to the yellow pipe.
I also want to point out that the door we just left says live on it, using my super special site that only I have.
Okay. Are we live or are we live?
LIV. Well, just like it says behind DGR's head right now.
Yeah.
Oh, when he moves it.
Oh my gosh, it's almost like, yeah, it was placed there by chance.
Live, yeah.
Trying to match it up.
Okay. So I can sort of get a sense of what's going on. So can I to your left? Can I kind of go down the hall and see what's on the left?
Yeah, it's weird. The halls all look identical, and you feel like you get lost. But you're sort of, if you go in a certain direction towards organization, you feel like you could get somewhere.
Okay, cool. So let's go try to do that.
Yeah, you walk the halls. It feels like you're just making it up as you go along. You have no idea where you're going, but after a moment, you stop in front of a blank door.
The door we're looking at says records.
Ooh.
And there's no keypad. Also, just to check everything you brought with you, you've got the walkie, and you've got the watch, and you've got the wrench with you, and that's it.
Okay, walkie.
Is the door able to be opened?
Yeah, the door does not have a key code or a keypad next to it. You open the door and you walk into a room. It is very large. It has hundreds and hundreds of files and bookshelves and cabinets. You notice it's not very well organized, but you do kind of see the numbers 1 through 1,000 are spread out in that room. You could probably find a file if you're looking for one in particular, but it's tough to browse.
Is anyone's senses tingling? I don't have senses.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we need to start eating more pills so everybody gets senses?
I think we've eaten all the pills, haven't we?
Yeah, you've taken all the pills.
All the pills are gone.
We have. Okay.
Yeah, you've taken all the pills, and yeah, it's weird. You sure there's something in this room. You kind of glance around. The only thing that sort of pops out in your minds are the things in the back of your jumpsuits.
Live.
What?
Okay, can we look up the record on Live?
You would love to. You just don't know how to find it. It's the numbers 1 through 1,000.
Gotcha.
Is that Roman numerals? Roman numerals?
Oh,
4. What is L? 54?
L is
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's
I think it's 54.
Yeah, I think it's 54.
Okay.
Can we look at file 54?
Yeah, you go and you see file 54. It says operation in current stages, and you see your names. You see A, DGR, D, Poo, and Laurel are Thab, and your names are just there. It looks like they're collecting data still. There's not much in here.
What about 53?
Yeah.
Yeah, you dig through and you finally find a 53. It takes a bit. It's almost like this file was deliberately hidden from you, but you finally find it. And, well, it's strange. You see your names again. A, DGR, D, Poo, and Laurel are Thab. And D, N, and R, your names are crossed out, and the word discharged is written next to them very officially. But A, your name is circled. And it's kind of creepy. There's something written next to it in very frantic handwriting, and it says extreme abnormalities. Subject manifested significant resistance despite treatment termination. Status unknown. Presumed discharged. And you notice handwritten next to this is a square. It looks very similar to the ones on the Jacobson note, but it was written. And then you see a note to DGR, and handwriting looks very familiar to you. It says, "Wake me up. Hurry. You need a key card from the meeting." You don't really know what that means.
Wake me up, hurry. You need a key card from the meeting. Well, we can go. I know where the meeting is. I can get us to the meeting.
And having stared at that file, and you feel something.
DGR feels something. Carl, I was going to say Carl.
I don't feel anything.
Okay, so
Carl
I feel a
should
space that I can navigate to, a place with an ominous feeling.
No.
Let's do it.
Navigate to ominous place.
Let's go dig up DGR's corpse.
Yeah, what? Who am I?
So, okay, you walk out of the room, and you, against logic, you decide to go to the place you feel a bad feeling about. You navigate through the hallways, and eventually you end up at a blank door with a keypad next to it that looks identical to the room you left originally.
Should we try the same code?
Well, okay, the watch has probably changed. Can I tap the watch?
You can. Anything you notice, D? Pooh, anything you notice?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the chat.
Oops.
It says L11.
There we go.
Okay, so
I
now
missed the chat, guys.
Watch when we said the bottom thing.
I was looking at my chat, yeah.
Oh,
the time is now 6:17, so maybe we should try 417 if we want to go in.
Yeah, and the keypad is laid out the same way, and you put it in, and the door opens. But it's something surprising. You see a wall, a metal wall, and you wonder how that's possible. And you think back to that foot-long gap you stepped over as you entered and exited your old room. And whatever hangs above that foot-long gap has come down, almost like a blast door has filled that space. And you think to how big that door must be. It's at least a foot wide, filling that gap, and it's probably not possible to come up. And do you hear anything?
There's some scratching coming from the door.
So I'm getting an ominous feeling. We found the scratch marks going into the vent. Feel like, yeah. Like
and now I also hear a high-pitched sound. It's kind of like a scream, but it's definitely not human. It might have been, but definitely not now.
Is that supposed to be me? Who am I?
I'm thinking you're like cloned. And
yeah, something weird with me going on here.
And you all hear it now. Something is on the other side. It's heard you.
Oh, it's banging.
Bang, bang, bang.
Is this our time to get out of here, or is this our time to like...
We should maybe check out that meeting and wake someone up.
Well, we have a wrench.
You feel like it's hearing you. It's hearing you.
Let's communicate.
Wait, call DGR's name. R or A.
Hey.
Hello. Is anyone there?
We attempt to make contact.
Yes, contacting.
It is bang, bang, bang.
Just bang.
Just bangs. Let's bang back.
Can we use the wrench to bang the door?
You can, but you feel like it heard you. It only began banging after you heard it say something.
Okay.
Are you trapped, creature? Bang once for yes, bang two for no.
Oh, we got a bang. One for yes.
Well, okay.
Are you in trouble, creature? Bang once for yes.
Uh-oh. 3 bangs.
We didn't have a 3
Do you
bang.
understand that?
Do you
Bang
understand? Bang once for yes, 2 for no.
Okay. We're understood.
All right. What do we want it to do? What do we want it to do?
Are you able to break out if you want to? Bang once for yes.
Okay.
3 bangs.
What's the 3 bang mean?
I don't know.
Wait, we know the... Oh, no, we don't. We don't know how to get through the blast door. There's a vent in the bottom, though, right?
Now, does the creature only understand me, or is it understanding everyone?
It feels like anyone asking a question it's responding to.
Okay.
Can you climb through the vent? Okay, so what if it climbs through the vent back to the other room? See where I'm going with this? And then we meet it in the other room?
Do we want to meet it in the other room?
I mean, I just, you know what?
I think we want to meet it. I think we want to meet the creature.
We've taken all these pills. We're safe.
Oh, it's meeting us.
It seems to be very eager when you said that.
Yes, it's meeting us in the other room, so...
You guys go. I'm staying here. You guys have superpowers.
Look, DGR, it's your past self, all right?
All right, I'm coming.
Or something. I don't know.
You feel this thing's strength beginning to wane a little bit. You think you could probably get one more question out of it.
Oh.
Will you hurt us?
And there's a resounding silence, and then a very hesitant.
Double bang.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well,
it had to really think about that one.
We will meet you in the other room, fine creature person, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
We will meet you in the other room that you're crawling through the vent in.
The vent, yeah.
Right, so I will use my navigation.
And with the last energy, you get a very bad feeling. It seems to be a little bit too eager to meet you.
Oh boy. It said it wouldn't hurt us. Why would it lie to us?
I mean,
why would anyone lie?
Pretty cool. Like,
It's
I want to
pretty
know
cool.
what it is.
what if we? Okay, look, I can see this going two ways. Potentially, we need to unleash it on the meeting or something like that. You know, maybe we need to unleash it, but stay safe so that we can use it to our advantage. And that's
What if we split up?
Oh God.
You feel like at the moment you may want to stick together.
No.
Okay.
Split up.
Okay.
And so as you stand there, yeah, you feel like you can go back to LIV, you go to records, or you could head to that group of people that you felt before.
Yeah, but
Let's ghost
do
it.
you want to snoop on the meeting a little bit first?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go try and listen to the meeting. What room?
Okay.
What room was the monster meeting us in?
Our previous room,
monster.
potentially,
Live,
maybe.
LIV, I beat.
The LIV
Yeah,
room.
live.
Okay.
Okay, you're gonna go to the meeting?
Yes.
Or
Yeah, let's check out the
54.
meeting.
Okay, you feel a little odd mixed feeling about going to a place where everyone you're trying to hide from is currently sitting, but you decide
We're keeping our distance, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. You're social distancing. That's safe. You head to leading the way in. You get to a large door. The door has a window in it, and you can peek through. It is a large auditorium, stadium-style seating. Hundreds of people are inside this meeting. It seems you just see the backs of heads, and someone is at the front in a white lab coat. There's a presentation probably about you. You can't really see it, but you do see something. There is a empty seat in the back row, very close to the door, and draped over that is a lab coat. You feel like one of you could probably sneak in if you were being extra sneaky and could grab it.
DGR, I'm going to nominate you for this one.
The man without the superpowers.
Yeah, the rest of us.
Look, just saying, if you go down, then it's less of a loss to us, DGR. It's only fair.
Very true.
Sorry.
That's true. I'll do it.
All right.
I will
Okay.
go in.
So if all of you are able, if you're able to mute yourselves and turn off your Zoom cameras, all of you except DGR,
Okay.
need you. You can listen. You all put your ears to the door as you listen and hide yourselves. And DGR, you're now entirely on your own. Step into the blackness of the auditorium and head to the seat. You're standing in front of it now. There is a white lab coat that says Roland on it.
Oh, I'm worried about him.
What are you gonna do?
So
Oh
worried
yeah, I'll
about
put the lab coat on, please.
And as you slip it on, the person sitting very close to you looks at you. You did not see them there and said, What are you doing? Where were you?
I had to use the bathroom.
Sit down.
Okay,
If
sorry.
Arnold sees you, you're gonna be in huge trouble.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I'll be here. I'm not gonna leave.
Yeah, bathroom. God, these kind of people, man. This is why everything's gone off the rails.
I'm sorry. I'm
These
sorry.
people.
Have you been down to incubation today?
I haven't been there yet.
Are you kidding? That's the first place you're supposed to go to check in. Everything's screwed up. LIV, man, it's off the rails. They're probably going to terminate it right after this meeting.
That doesn't sound good.
They didn't do the white rake-up procedure. For some reason, something happened. Something, whoever, I don't know who it was, I hope it wasn't you, didn't follow the manual. They said it was misprinted. They said there was an error in it. But we always do 3-1-4 for the wake-up procedure. That's always been part of the process. They don't even have their white wake-up memories. This is ridiculous.
I did. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll get it fixed.
I mean, just sit here, pay attention. That's what you got to do.
I'm gonna pay attention.
And as you look forward like a diligent soldier, the person next to you notices something. The purple jumpsuit on underneath your lab coat. Say, where were you before this? You feel like you should probably get out of there.
I'm gonna get out of there.
Where are you going?
I have to go to the bathroom again.
Jesus, hurry. And with that, you burst out of the door. You can turn on your video and audio now. You see A has emerged wearing a white lab coat bearing the name Roland.
Nice job.
It wasn't easy.
Did I do this right?
Sneaky.
It was not easy, but I got some information.
So yeah, you can share. All of you heard your ears for the doors. You kind of heard that, but you can discuss what you heard now.
So I'm dumb, and I thought we weren't supposed to listen, so I didn't listen to any of that. So what you
I
say,
didn't either.
How'd it go?
Well, Arnold is the man in charge, so we got to be really careful around Arnold. We were supposed to go to incubation to check in, and the wake up procedure is always 314.
Okay, Roland and Arnold, by the way, are like the exact same letters, so that's interesting. Anyway,
That is.
is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is
The wake up procedure was what again? Sorry.
314. It's always been 314. The wake up.
That's pi. I don't know.
Yeah, we also got a creature that might want to eat us waiting at the.
We are the pie for the creature. Let's go feed it. All right, DGR, your job is done. Let's feed DGR to the creature.
Can we, Carl? Could you lead us to this incubation?
As it turns out, I know exactly how to get there. I think maybe I'm gonna try. All right, I'm gonna feel it out.
Are we gonna ghost the monster again, or are we gonna?
Yeah, we're ghosting the monster.
We don't know how long it's gonna take him. All right,
yeah, it could take him a while.
It's sitting there at the vent waiting, being like, I swear to God, the guy said they'd be here. Maybe there's traffic or something. I hope they're okay. You narrowly walk through the hallways. You're anxious. You're worried about the meeting and everything you heard. And you get to a door. It says exactly what you'd expect it to say. D. It says incubation. The security grid looks similar. There's a weird USB slot, as every key area has it, but there's no buttons. Instead, there's a slot for a key card.
Hey,
DGR, check his lab coat.
Pockets?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
You check the lab coat, and there are a couple things in there. There is a vial of pills. You have a triangle, a square, and a circle inside of it. And you also have a key card.
Can we use the key card, please?
You can. It opens the door, and you step foot into incubation. Your eyes adjust. It's a bit dark, and you are not terribly surprised, but it doesn't make what you're seeing any easier. You are seeing rows of columns of tubes filled with you, fully grown versions of you floating there, labeled. One is there's an A, there's a row labeled a D, the third row is N, and the fourth row is R, and you see a control panel. The control panel says, wake up, and you see it has a dial. You can turn it to an A, to a D, to an N, or to an R. There's a note that says you can only wake up one at a time. And it has a warning. It says, do not forget about wake up procedure. Proper dosage required.
Okay.
Below that,
so circle 314 could be the circle, right, for pi?
Well, okay, no. So
you give them the circle pill?
No, because we'd want to give them all 3 pills if we wake this person up. We'd want to give them the 3 pills to give them.
Because that's the proper dosage.
It's the proper dosage, and they would get sight, sound. Otherwise, they're like, this is what I'm gathering. If we wake them up and do nothing, they're just going to be a blob, right?
Yeah,
they're not going to be able to do anything.
You think back to the clipboard. You have really good memories, and so you think back to the clipboard. There's probably something important on there.
Yeah, the clipboard says 5 is only for Arnold, and we've taken 4 of some.
That was my other thought.
It's weird the way those numbers are spelled out. You don't think it's the number of pills. Is there anything else it could be?
314, the order of pills.
Yep.
And you think, how does that relate? But which pill is which?
Who's got the sight?
So conical is sight, which was the circle. Decibel is hearing, which is me, and then Carl got spatial sensory. Oh yeah, because a voice is whispering to me.
Yeah.
So the triangle is 3, the circle is 1, and the square is 4.
Yeah, you think about the number of sides on those shapes, and it feels like that might line up.
Oh,
that does line up.
It does.
I got it a different way.
Almost like that was intentional, but you got it. Yeah. So you see the warning on the control panel says, yeah, wake up procedure required. You think you might have the right dosage then. And then there's a note below it that says only do wake up procedure in orientation. And with that.
We can only wake up one, right? Like, who are we waking up anyway?
DGR.
Gonna wake me up?
Yeah, we're gonna wake up his clone.
Okay, that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I know the way to get to orientation if we need to go to orientation.
Okay.
So you're gonna wake up a DGR?
Yeah, let's wake up an A, right?
So
Also, because he's most likely to die.
You set the dial to A and you hit the button, and you see the tube next to you with an A in it. The liquid drains out and the tube lifts up, and out kind of stumbles a fully grown A. It's covered in sludge. It kind of shakes off. The sludge dries quickly, and they're nude. They're cold, and they look at you, and they seem kind of bleary-eyed, confused.
Do we give him the pills? Triangle.
Yes.
Did it say? Wait. It said only an orientation, or what was it?
It says you can give the dosage in here, but to do the unlock procedure in orientation.
Okay.
Should I give him my lab coat? So
he's
not
naked,
cold?
right?
Yeah, it's naked. It doesn't really want your lab coat. It doesn't really. It kind of looks at you oddly. It sees. It likes that you're wearing the lab coat. It doesn't really want the lab coat, but it does notice the A on your jumpsuit and feels kind of like staring at it for too long. It's something odd.
Yes, I think I say we give the clone the pills.
Take the pills. Let's do it.
Okay. What order do you give it in?
Triangle, circle, square.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gulps them down almost instinctively, like it's used to having pills. It takes the pills, and its eyes clear up a little bit. It's no longer hazy, and it stands upright a little bit. It's still like wanting something to wear.
DGR is the jumpsuit under the coat.
Yeah, I could give him my jumpsuit.
Yeah, the lab coat is pretty generous. You feel like you could get away with just wearing that. So yeah, you slip off your jumpsuit and give it to it, and it looks down and sees the A on the jumpsuit, and it feels pretty comfortable. And then it looks at you, DGR. You're wearing the lab coat. It feels like it's going to follow you wherever you go.
All right. Follow me.
All right.
Where to?
Where are we
Maybe
going?
Are we going to orientation? Do you want to go sacrifice him to the monster?
Let's go to orientation.
Let's go to orientation.
Okay, let's go to orientation then.
Guide us there, Carl.
Yeah, you head to orientation. It follows you. It's weird. You're kind of, DGR, you're kind of pretending like you're in charge, but really, and you're the one leading the way. And you get to a room, D, that says exactly what you'd expect it to say, orientation. You open the door, it's unlocked, and inside is the gray room. You have a memory of being in this room when you first woke up. And you kind of look around, you see there are 4 chairs sitting where you believe you sat, and then a chair facing that probably where Roland sat. On the back of the wall, D, you see something?
It says orientation, all sit in proper place, ask in order, all answer.
And R, you hear that sound. All of you remembered hearing. You hear this humming sound mixed with the rhythmic thumping of a heart. And you turn and you see the brand new A is kind of sitting there or standing against the wall, and its kind of head is beating along with the thumping of the heart. And it's like at each beat, it kind of wakes up a little bit more. And it kind of watches you and sees what all of you do.
Should we? Anyone have ideas? We can sit down and ask questions or something like that. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, there was the wake up procedure, or something has to be done in orientation.
What was
the wake up procedure?
You think back to your orientation.
What's the last thing you remember, A?
I was eating pizza.
Not you.
And it looks confused because it doesn't. No one's sitting. Yeah, no one's sitting, and it looks kind of confused. And Pooh, you read again what you read on the back wall.
Okay, so we should sit down in the order that it specifies.
All sit in proper place. So we need to all sit in proper place. So DGR A, then A, D, and R in order.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll sit in my N.
But DGR right now is Roland technically, so he
So
should.
Roland,
Yes,
Yeah, I need to be standing then, right?
Yeah. So
sitting in
you push the
Roland's
chair
spot,
aside
yeah.
in the center of the room and you face everyone. Everyone else, you sit in the right spots. And with that, the new A sits in its empty seat and it waits.
So in order, DGR can ask us what was the
Last thing you
last thing we remember.
And yeah, you start with A and it says, I was eating pizza and then I felt something hit me in the back of the head. And then it turns to look at you, D.
And I was at a gentleman's club and observing, enjoying the arts.
And then it looks to you, N.
And I was in a swimming pool swimming to the bottom.
And finally to you, R.
Yeah, I was eating lots of tacos and drinking lots of water.
And it's weird. After that, you look back at the A, and the A's, its eyes are fluttering in it, and then it looks back at you, and its expression has changed. This person knows who you are. And after a moment, with a nervous expression, says, I'm sorry for all you've discovered so far. The truth is not pleasant. There is no escaping the routines we've been forced to endure. But by now you've become aware of me and the fate that's in store for you, or worse, if you don't leave. Whatever happens, you must not engage with me. I will hurt you. I will lie to you. Badly. I have left something in records. 440. Find it. Use it. Go down as far as you can. And just when you think you cannot go any further, keep going. But you may not like what you find. Hurry. And you should go. Whatever memories I've programmed in here, I don't want others to find. You shouldn't see what happens to me. And with that, you feel like you probably should leave that room.
All right, yeah, let's
All
get
right.
out of
Yeah,
here.
To
I'm
the
out.
records.
I'm out.
Back
we
to
still have a
records.
monster waiting.
I know.
Guys, the monster's fine, okay? The monster has got great patience. All right,
Let's
That
go
guy
ahead.
just-
let's go back to
That guy just
records.
said he
Let's
would
go to
lie
records
to
first.
us. So maybe the
So-
monster is actually going to hurt us.
Yes, exactly.
Let's go back to
exactly.
records, though.
Records. Let's look at record 440.
You go to the records and you find, 440 can't be found. You look everywhere and finally you do find it. It's hidden. And when you open it, it's weird. It just says experiment in planning. It's empty. And you feel kind of pissed at first. You're like, what was this leading us to? Where is this going? And there's nothing in it. The file is completely empty. And you go to put the file back, and that's when you feel it. The file is unevenly weighted. It's heavier on one side, and when you shift it, something shifts inside. You hold it to the light and see that something has been placed inside of the actual file. You rip it open, and out falls something. A yellow key. But the key is weird. It has teeth like a key on one side, and on the other side, a USB stick.
Oh.
All right.
All
Well, let's go back to the monster room. Or do you want to go back to? Or do you want to go back to live?
Well, yeah, you can go back to LIV if you'd like. You don't think this stick would work in 53. You feel like the yellow color of the key is probably more important.
Okay.
Okay.
We have
all
a
right.
yellow pipe in the
Yeah.
room. We have a yellow wrench, and now we have a yellow key.
Yeah, a lot of yellow.
Well, under the bed was a yellow wire to under bed A. In that.
Yeah.
So there was a yellow wire as well. Which this key could possibly open that.
It doesn't feel like this is a tool. It feels like a key.
So didn't we have a place to stick in a USB related thing? What was that in?
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was in.
every keypad and every lock you've seen has a USB stick on it.
Okay, well, let's go back to live and shove the USB into live.
Okay,
And
you
the
go back to
keypad
LIV
lift. Yes.
and you put the USB thing, it fits, and it lifts open the keypad. There's a keyhole beneath it, but the key you have does not fit.
Okay.
Would
Does
we?
it look like a wrench would fit?
It does not. The the key, it's a keyhole. The wrench is very large.
So we were able to put the USB in, but then the key did not work. Even we were in the. Is there yellow? Is there anything yellow like on the thing that we're putting it in, or any colors like that?
There's not, but you do have a yellow pipe running along the ceiling that you could probably follow.
Okay, let's follow the yellow pipe.
Let's follow that pipe, baby.
Okay, you follow the pipe, baby, and you get to a blank door.
Does the door have a keypad or anything around it?
It does. And
also, yes, also it says facilities, this door. I just want to mention that.
Okay.
And yeah, you see there's a keypad next to the door. It is, well, it's odd. The red light is off. It has numbers. The numbers look the same as the ones you've seen on the weird disoriented keypad, but the red light is off. You tap some buttons. It doesn't work. The keypad is broken. But yeah, there is a USB stick.
Let's shove it in.
You shove it in. The keypad lifts open, and the key fits into the keyhole that pops open. The door opens, and you are now into the facilities room. It's very strange. There are hundreds of rows of shelves here. They all contain weird, strange tools with very specific purposes. There's a red light and a giant sign that says one tool out at a time. You aren't sure. It feels like there is a tool missing, and you cannot pull one off the wall. They're magnetically locked in. You look around the room too, and you also see two other things. There is a loudspeaker in the room with a yellow label on it. You also see a button, a push button. The push button has a label that says Facilities Shaft Lighting. You push it and nothing happens, but you presume the vent back in the room is now lit up.
Okay.
So we can put the wrench back and get a different tool.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you using A48, you find where the wrench goes, and it snaps back against the wall with a loud click. The magnetic switch changes. The green light turns on. You can take any tool you want, except you aren't sure which of the thousands may work. You didn't think of something. The light on in the vent probably lets you see the screw head. If one of you could stay in this room and hear the description of that screw head, maybe you could grab the right tool.
So
I think I can hear.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's too far away to go. If only you had a device that could help you communicate.
Oh, we have the walkie-talkie.
Okay, you have the walkie-talkie. How are you going to use it?
One of us, sorry, DGR. I'm going to send DGR back over.
It's time to go see what's in that vent that we lured to the vent.
Could you please go back to the vent with the walkie and kind of radios back into her?
It's very sweet that you volunteered one person to go. Because of what you mentioned, you feel like all of you should go back to that room and one of you should stay behind.
Oh, okay.
I like that plan.
Okay.
Well, DGR is going to the monster. I mean, we've already decided this. So two other people.
Do we need me to navigate? I don't know. Like
you have the yellow pipe you can follow back and forth, so you don't really need anyone to navigate you back and forth.
All right. Well, here we go. I'll stay. Or you stay? You stay. I'd much rather go with the group. So I'm gonna go with the group.
All right.
Okay, so and if you could please mute yourself and turn off your camera, you can listen. So please make sure you listen.
Okay.
I'm gonna be sending you some private instructions. So N, you can listen to what everyone's saying and read my instructions carefully. When you understand, make sure you change the messaging back to the group and type one of the two approved things you can type. The rest of you head back to LIV. You get back into the room and you see that the vent now has a light on inside of it. I'm going to be sending you each something privately that N cannot see. You all are seeing the same thing, except for obviously N. What you're seeing is the screw head. It's very strange looking. What is inside of the white is the screw head. That's the shape. You have the walkie in your hand. You can describe it. Just remember that a tool is relative towards orientation. So you don't really think that the tool that N is going to be looking at is going to be oriented the exact same way. So top, bottom, left, and right may not look the same to him.
Mm-hmm. So this is like, we're going to describe this to him and
he has to find it.
Okay. Okay, and listen up. I got this, guys. Don't worry. And listen up.
And one thing before you start, if you're alive and understand, type one of the two approved things to the group.
If he's still alive,
he's dead.
You sent that to the whole. You sent that to me privately, so change it to the whole group. And you see the lights come on, and so you realize that N is able to turn the lights on and off at will.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to describe this tool the best I can. All right. Now, picture one side. One side is kind of a relatively like flat side. All right. Opposite side is going to be a square, triangle, square. You got square, triangle, square. Opposite of that, flat side. Okay. You hearing me on that, Carl? I'm sure you are. And then on the other two opposite sides, you're gonna see square, triangle, square, triangle on one side, and then semicircle, triangle, square on the opposite side of that. I know I explained that in such great, amazing detail. And your listening comprehension.
Lights off. He said lights off.
Lights off? Okay. Lights on.
Lights on.
Lights are okay. Lights are back on. We have the walkie-talkie right now. Correct?
He can hear you. And he can hear you. He's turning the lights on and off. You may want to ask him to set up his form of communication to indicate yes or no questions.
Okay. Carl, turn the lights on flicker the lights once for yes, flicker the lights twice for no. Carl, did you understand how I described the tool?
I think
lights off, lights on.
Wait, that means he did understand.
Right?
That means he did understand. Do you have the tool, Carl?
No.
No. Okay.
How many? Oh, we can't. It's gotta be yes or no. Do you feel closer to getting the tool after his description?
Yes. How many tools? Oh, I guess I can't ask that. Yeah. Is it less than
number? Yeah.
3? Is it less than 3 tools you're trying to decide on? Okay, so it's more than that. Is it less than 5 tools? 5 or less? Oh, baby.
No.
That's a lot of tools. I think we need to redescribe this.
He agrees.
And I wish I could just walk back over to him.
Okay.
Just to go alone.
So, do you see tools with a wider? There's like what we see. There's like a wide and a thin triangle. Do you see ones that have wide and thin triangles?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe because you just said triangles, so maybe we should say like how the ones on, you know what I mean? Like those are thin, and then
yeah.
So like opposite of the flat side is a square, wide triangle, square, or a rectangle.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it the first time, but I spaced out on which side was which. I think it's Z4.
Okay, so and you've emerged. You have a weirdly shaped screwdriver in your hand. Who would like to give it a shot?
DGR.
Okay.
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay, you volunteer as tribute. You go under the bed. The tool barely fits inside. You put your hand into the vent with it. You put it in the screw head and it does not fit.
Shit.
But then you turn it very carefully and it does.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It takes a lot of energy, and slowly but surely you get 1 screw out, 2 screws. There are 8 total. You remove them all. And then it takes all 4 of you to move the vent. The vent is large and very heavy. And ironically enough, based on the way, if you angle it properly, it can fit into the vent with you if you would like. And as you sit there, you wonder what to do. You feel something, and you feel something, or you hear something. There are people in the hallway, lots of people actually, and they're coming into the room. You hear the sound of the door open, and people begin to come inside. What do you do?
Get in the vent.
You want to go in the vent? We're going
down
in the
the
vent?
shaft into the beast vent.
These guys are going to put us back in our pod thing. We got to get out of here.
I guess, yeah. All right.
Back to the vent.
Okay,
In
you
we go.
you climb into the vent, and this is where you fear something very particular, especially you, N. You feel the room you were in, the room you're outside of, the ominous room, is straight ahead of you. You have the vent. It fits perfectly, almost like a wall. Where do you place it?
in front of us, so that between where we are right now and the ominous room.
So you do. You put it there, and just at that moment, you hear something charging towards you. It is loud and terrifying, and you hear people inside of the room asking where you are. And that is when you back up very slowly, and with just leaving a gap between you and the hole, the thing runs through. It runs into you. It runs into the vent, but because you're all four holding it tightly, it bumps against it and finds an exit in the hole. It scurries out. You barely get a glimpse of it. It's long and tall with very sharp claws, large teeth. It's muscular and terrifying. And you hear it climb up into the room. Screams are echoed as it makes quick work of whatever's in the room. You should leave now. You only have one way to go, down the vent.
Let's go down the vent.
Let's go. Let me lead the way now.
Okay. You head down the vent. It goes on for a long time. After a while, you aren't sure what direction you're even going. Up, down, left, or right. It doesn't make sense. But based on what you heard from the A you woke up, you keep going. You keep going. And then finally, you hit what feels like a wall. But based on what A had said, you keep going. You push. And the wall moves. It's a door. You step out of it, and you are coming out of a vent. It's on the ceiling. It's 10 feet off the ground. You each land, and you're in an office, a large one. You look around, and the office is dusty and eerily still. None of your abilities seem to work anymore. And that's when you see it. In the center of the room is a skeleton. Its flesh worn off long ago. You see it's wearing a lab coat with the name Arnold.
I would like to grab that lab coat and put it on.
Okay, you put it on, and you hear something jingling in the pocket.
Would like to check the pocket.
And you see there is a vial with a pill. The pill is pentagon shaped.
Oh, that's the fiver. So only Arnold should take it. So does that mean Pooh's up, or?
DGR hasn't had any pills.
I was gonna say DGR has not taken any pills. We could trade lab coats, me and him, real quick.
I'm having deja vu right now. Like, really?
Yeah. Let's trade. Me and DGR are gonna trade lab coats, and then he is going to take the pentagon pill.
Okay, is that what you want, eh?
He is now Arnold. I am Roland, and
this has happened to me before.
Well, you haven't taken any of the drugs. Dude. Yeah, you haven't taken any drugs yet. So
I know, but this is freaking me out. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. You take the pentagon pill. It's hard to swallow, both literally and metaphorically. You stand there for a moment. Something is changing about you, and as you're adjusting and dealing with everything, the rest of you look around. There are, on the opposite wall, monitors, dozens of them, and you see rooms. They're labeled with Roman numerals, 1, 2, all the way through M. And all of the rooms are still, bodies, skeletons on the floor. This whole floor, it seems, is completely still. It's identical to the one you were on. It's empty, though, and everyone's dead. It's a crypt. And that's when, DGR, you look around.
Looking
okay.
Deeply.
Do I type a message to you?
You can share your information with people if you would like.
Okay. So I look around and see all three of my friends now look the exact same. You also see a door on the wall the others do not see.
Would you like to open it?
Should we open it, guys?
Yes.
Yes, let's open it.
Okay, you open and there is a large room. It's empty except for in the center. There is a giant tube filled with one person. He looks familiar to you. It's a man in a lab coat. The lab coat says Ronald on it. And as you examine it, DGR, do you see anything?
He looks like, and you look in the reflection of the glass, you see he looks like you as well.
So yeah,
he looks like our friends. We all look the same.
To you, everyone looks the same. The person in the tube, you, and everyone. And that's when a voice greets you, a sort of a disembodied voice floating in space. Hello. I'm certain you must be very confused, and you've done very well. This whole thing, a projection appears around you. It's ominous because you see floors, hundreds of them, each filled with 1,000 experiments. You being one. You see the same thing playing out over and over and over again. All of you in these rooms running experiments, they're all different, and they're running over and over again, every room, every floor. I'm very sorry that you have to see this. Yes, it's alarming to see that you're copies, but this was to find you. You are very special. I hope you understand that. I've been trying to find something very important in here. Here being, well, inside of you. Instinctively, you all turn to see the body floating in liquid. Ronald. Yes, you're copies, you know that, but not just physically. Your consciousness as well. I've been searching for a special bit of information locked inside. Years ago, longer than you probably care to know, when you arrived here, you were alone. Unfortunately, all of your friends had perished, and their bodies, their memories, not salvageable. Just you. You were holding on. But it was stubborn. You knew something I wanted from you, and you didn't want to give it to me. This stubbornness to follow orders, I had to find what you refused to give me. A location, where you came from. I'm so happy to tell you that I found it, because you've arrived. I pinpointed the stubbornness, the key to your personality. I just had to find where it was. You see, I've had to upload slices upon slice of your memory, of your personality, your brain data, drop by drop, bit by bit to find the piece. I recreated the bodies you found. I only had one bit of DNA to play with. It wasn't just the physical homes, though. Your memories, I was testing little bit by bit, every permutation, before I found the memory that would give me resistance. And you've done that. By you showing up here, it indicates I found the right one. And that means now that you've arrived, it must be inside one of you. Please, whoever has the memory of where you're from, please step forward. I would love to know this so I can go pay you a visit. You now have an option. Which one of you is going to step forward?
I mean, we've been getting DGR to do everything.
The question runs through your head. Yeah, DGR seems to be the one that has the memory, but
yeah.
Do you want to give this thing the memory?
Yeah, no, I don't. We don't want to give it the memory, right? So let's have somebody else step forward. I step forward.
Yes.
Right? How are we feeling about this?
Yes, I like that. Yeah, you step forward.
Okay, I step forward. It was the swimming pool.
Thank you so much. Yes, the swimming pool. It seems to be a pool of water you swam towards. It seems important. And with that, you feel your consciousness begin to fade and you fall limp as whatever memories you had are extracted. And with that, you start to feel something else. All of you begin to fade. But then you come back, and you come back. Whatever this voice was, it seems to have accepted something that was incorrect. It is now heading somewhere in deep space. But you feel that, for at least the time going forward, you've managed to make the right choice, that it won't get to wherever you are from. And it may be another cycle, more time, more experimentation before this exact same permutation happens. But until then, at least wherever you're from is safe. Well done.
Whoa.
All right. Wow.
Plot twist at the end.
Oh,
that plot
man.
twist, though.
You did it. Congratulations. Yes. Had you volunteered to go forward, this thing would have gone to Earth and found you.
And
you
murdered us all.
Almost sacrificed me.
We almost sacrificed the entire planet, dude.
Yeah.
But me, more importantly.
Well, I mean,
Wait a minute.
to be fair, you didn't have any superpowers, and we didn't want to lose those superpowers.
I mean, I understand. I understand.
Well done, though. You guys succeeded. Bravo.
That was really good. I like the way you describe the details in the story. Really allow you to paint a good picture.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I felt like I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared of the monster.
I was really into the monster storyline. I still want to go.
I know. I want to know what happens to the monster.
I want to see what it looks like. Can we get an artist rendition?
Yeah. So, do you have any intention, Tommy, to make art to go with it? Because it would be fantastic, in my opinion, just for someone who's not so visual or like.
Yeah, so the way this is going to be is the Escape This podcast is they do audio games, and so the plan is to record. The plan is to record this, and logically, though, and I'm making a couple more pieces of art. The art, though, every object you find is diegetic in the space, meaning that everything you found is a physical object. So, like, the reason I drew the map for you, you're not going to find a map. Like, who drew a map in the room for you? Yeah. It's every file, everything you pick up, you can look at.
Gotcha.
So it's trying to keep it one for two reasons. I'm not an artist, and so I can barely use Photoshop to make text look fine. Like you saw my really bad drawings for the tools. I'm going to try to play with that a little bit differently and make it a little easier.
Maybe just the starting room would be nice. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm playing around with how to make that like narrative though. Is like, why would you find a map of the room you're in? So I'm trying to still play around with the logic of how that could work. But also make it so that people who are listening, because it's very like Inception-esque. I'm making something that is fun for the people playing it, but also the most number of people are going to listen to it over the audio podcast version. So it has to be something that's fun to listen to as well. And they can also download the stuff and play along. But the people playing are going to have to describe everything they found. You guys did an amazing job of being able to describe and kind of embody the stuff I was sending you all. But yeah, it's kind of hard because I'm making it something that's both fun to play but also fun to listen to. So it's a weird back and forth.
My chat really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
The tool puzzle seems a little difficult to.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like you got it though. I felt like you got it. I mean,
yeah. I had six things with just like blobby triangles, shapes, and things. That I got so lucky finding the right one.
Hold on, here.
I'll send you if you guys want to see what the everything looks like. I just sent the link for. I'm gonna make this look better.
They want to know who Arnold was on my side.
Oh, who was Arnold?
Who was Arnold?
He's like
well, as you correctly noted, Carl, the Arnold, Roland, and why am I blanking their name? Ronald, Roland, and Roland were all the same names.
Yeah.
So from the story, and I am happy to take notes because I have until Friday to tweak this more because you guys were basically the first official beta testers of this whole thing. Because I've been testing out little bits and pieces, but you're the first one to play the full thing.
Overall, I feel like the story was super immersive, and I really enjoyed your storytelling and just sort of creating the world and everything about that. At the beginning, it took me a sec to get into, and then I just for the entire rest of the time, I felt like I was there. It was really cool.
Definitely.
I really liked that.
So the premise is that, from what I imagine the story is that this guy was, there was a spaceship mission going out somewhere, heading to a star, and essentially they arrived with one crew member, Ronald, alive, but barely holding on. And the entity that essentially got him wanted to know where they came from, wanted to know the coordinates where to get back. The idea is that if an alien sort of entity of some kind was malevolent at some point and needed to figure out how to basically dig into our memories, it's essentially trying to figure out like how to find a needle in a haystack. It's trying to find these memories. And so it pinpointed that if it could find Arnold's stubbornness, it could find its intelligence, it would know where the location of its home would be. And so it's been running these cycles with creating clones. And if you could have talked to it a little bit more, you'd have found out the reason the pentagon shape revealed what you all really looked like was that people tend to not really react well when they see copies of themselves. Mm-hmm. So the pentagon shape is what reveals what you really look like, but you're inherently like cloned and bonded to see each other differently. That way you don't freak out when you see the fact that the maintenance guy and Roland and Arnold all look the same.
This is kind of like a fucked up version of The Good Place. Like,
it's funny, I definitely wanted to put some of those vibes of like the humor, but definitely have like a darker twist to it.
Yeah, they're just doing the same experiment over and over and over again, but getting the same results. Trying to look.
Could have the monster killed us if we made a wrong decision?
I would have given you a chance to do distract it, but yes, I would have said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" So yeah, if you would not put the grading in the right spot, it would have come after you.
Yeah, when you gave us the option, I was like, "All right, well, he's trying to make us, you know."
Yes, and the reason you knew what to do is if you you could have chosen not to go to 53. If you hadn't gone there, you wouldn't have known which direction to put the vent.
Oh,
cool. That's good. So yeah. So the monster would have just been in the vent.
Yeah.
Was the goo that was coming out of the faucets and everything, was that the same goo that the clones were made out of?
Yes, that was the same goo. Yes. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and that's called being discharged. So yeah, you find out
being discharged.
So I wanted to play around with the fun terminology.
Someone in my chat said, "What was with the scratch under the bed?" Is that I'm assuming that was the monster?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So what basically had happened is in 53, the memory that the entity has been searching for, well, they found it. It basically this thing became self-aware. An A became self-aware, and it basically began planting seeds for you, the next group, to get out. So the idea is that if you couldn't get out yourself, it could plant seeds. So what it did, it was able to escape.
Okay.
Yes, it was able to escape and leave instructions that screwed up the wake-up procedure, which is what happened for why you woke up without pills, because you didn't have pills. And so it left instructions for you to follow, which is essentially what's funny is you're playing into the entity's hand. This whole thing was an experiment. The experiment was part of a larger experiment to find you. Because basically it's like if you're waiting for an intelligent thing to show up, you just set the experiment in motion and wait for the thing to walk out and say, "Hey, I'm here." You know, imagine you have an ant colony and an ant opens the thing and is like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're like, "Hey, you're the smart ant I've been looking for." So that's the idea, is that this process happened. And so finding the memory of specifically like how to rebel, how to plan, how to escape was the intelligence it was looking for.
If we would have explored like different files, could we have found out what turned it into a monster?
Yeah, you would have been able to find out more. So you could have dug through files. So some people like to dig through earlier files. You could find file 1 and it would have said the exact same thing. All of you had just been discharged. So you would have find that 1 through 52, all the files have just been, all of you, all discharged. File 53, you would have seen had the special note that you got.
Yeah.
Sorry, some of my chat said something cool. If you had 7 players, how many people are going to be on the podcast that you're doing it with?
4. That's the goal. I've tried it with more, but it's been absolute chaos with more than 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you had everyone, then you would have it spelling Arnold in your names. Or
yes. Oh, yes. You got it. Yeah, that's why the names are that way. But yeah,
our names were spelling Arnold.
With if DGR wouldn't have left the conference room, would he have gotten captured?
If he would have left what?
If he would have just stayed in the meeting. What if he would have not left the meeting?
You can trigger an alert. So if you would have stayed in the meeting, you can actually ask more. So what's cool is that I gave you opportunities to ask questions. Obviously, with the monster, you can ask yes or no questions, but yes, it's lying to you. And 3 is like a complicated response. So like the monster was clearly trying to get you to basically feed it, which I'm glad that I was trying to hint at you. Because yeah, if you had gone back to the room, you could have seen it like clawing at you, which would have been clue enough. But because I don't want people to die. So yeah, you could have triggered an alarm, and what you could have done is you could have triggered people coming after you, and you would have had to move a lot faster. You could have been caught, thrown back in your room, and the next day would have proceeded. So I've been trying to play with cycles of day-night, and it's been harder to deal with because I don't want this thing to run for 4 hours. So it's like trying to find a way to keep people on a task and do it within 90 minutes to 2 hours. But
yeah, I like the length. Yeah, I think it would be it would not be good to make it any longer. I mean, it depends on the target audience, I guess, for sure though. But
yeah, I think 90 minutes is kind of that sweet spot. So yeah,
that was great. That was awesome.
No, you guys were a great group. Thanks for doing this. It was nerve-wracking to test it because I am recording it on Friday with the podcast, so I had to rush to get everything kind of tweaked and finished. But I'm still going to be playing stuff over this, and you guys have pointed stuff out. So please, if you have any more feedback, please send it my way. Like this is helpful to hear.
No, but I think we'd love to guinea pig more of them for you. Any more you got? You know?
Yeah. You said you own an escape room in LA.
I do. I own one called Stash House where you actually have to flush drugs.
Oh my god! I think Pluto's done that one. Dude. He told me about a flushing drugs one. So
yeah, you've got to flush. Yeah. As far as I know, we're the only one where you have to flush bags of cocaine in the toilet at the end.
What's your place called?
Stash House.
Stash House. Okay.
Yeah, back when the world was normal and not burning and everything was closed and scary. Yeah, but please, when the world stops burning post-vaccine, please come visit, and I'd love to host you guys.
Oh, definitely.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. One last thing, you mentioned the name of a podcast. Somebody in my chat was wondering what the podcast was again, so that they can listen to other people do this.
Yes, no, it's really fun. It's a couple in Australia, Danny and Bill. It's just escapethispodcast.com. I've been on it. I was a guest this past season. Neil Patrick Harris was a guest. Like, they get some really cool people on. They're doing guest hosts this season. Usually it's Danny and Bill who design their rooms. They're really charming. They're very funny. They've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. And I really enjoy them. But yeah, and what's cool with them is that after every episode, they release the show materials, so you can actually download the file and play the game and run it yourself. So they give you the tools to DM any room, and they just make it. So it's cool, and the rooms are fun. They're sometimes linear in terms of like standalone. Other times there's a season-long arc, but they've been doing this for a while, and they're really enjoyable, especially since it's hard to get out and do physical things. Kind of running this for friends remotely is kind of the next best thing.
So is there any more lore on how the monster was created, or like what file or is there like a file we could have found for it?
Yeah, you could have dug through. There are other rooms I'm going to be adding this week. There's actually a cool, because the problem is, like, I'll show you the chart I've made for like how to organize. It's a bit crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
If they do this, you go here. If they do that, you go
Yeah, so you guys picked one path. You actually kind of picked the golden path that I was playing with, which is kind of like, you got this done the fastest way possible. You could have gone to more rooms, more colors, more things. I've been trying to figure out how big I want to, because the biggest thing is, after this is done, I'm not going to do it again. Like, I'm not making this a paid-for game. No one's going to pay money for this. I'm not going to make this into a physical game.
I think people would have paid money for this.
You're kind.
That's a good one.
I'm my own worst self-critic. So this has just been a fun challenge to do, because the two things are like, in quarantine, I design this stuff for a living. I design immersive interactive stuff for a living, and it's been interesting designing stuff that most of the work I do is NDA'd, so I can't talk about it. And so it's nice to actually make something that people can see and I can talk about. And so with this, it was a fun challenge when they asked me to design a game. It was like, okay, I can make one, and I can have an excuse to hang out with cool people and play something, as opposed to just sitting around and like being miserable and talking about, catching up. It's like, this is the chance to actually hang out with people and do something. So it's kind of a fun challenge on both fronts, like making something I can share with people and hanging out with cool people at the same time. So
cool.
Yeah, I feel like this could be an entire story, an entire game, an entire video game. Like, I don't know. It could be really cool. It's really
What's really funny is this. So I've been designing immersive interactive stuff for a long time, for about 5 years now, which feels like a long time in my head. And this is the very first game I designed. Now, obviously, it was much worse back then, but it was the same premise. And so when they asked me to design something, I'm like, can I take a bad thing, which is the very first game I designed, and make it good? And I've been slowly, like, obviously it's changed a lot. But yeah, it's been fun to take that challenge of like a bad thing I made once and make it into something new and good that actually will see the light of day. So
somebody in my chat asked if you thought about working with the developer to do a VR game for this or something like that.
I've played around with it. Escape rooms in VR are usually really disappointing. I've played about 30 or 40 of them, and just like Carl, like we were saying before, online games or VR games, most of them don't make full use of the actual format they're in. Like, I don't want to play a game online or in VR that I can do in real life. And I'm not a developer. I've talked to plenty of developers and stuff, and I've developed some games on my own I've worked for companies that have done game development. But the biggest problem is escape room, they're one-off. You play it, you're done.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Developing is kind of hard because you're doing a one-off thing. And then, okay, what about like a space team or a keep talking, nobody explodes kind of game, which is different every time? With that one, it's really hard to do a narrative that changes every time that still makes sense. So it's like you have one or the other. A thing that's one and done that has a cool story, or something that's replayable. You're making sort of a back and forth, like a choose your adventure thing.
Yeah.
So I think the format is really hard to pull off successfully. And that's why in my head, like working on for a couple of years on one thing, I would want it to be actually like something people could invest in and would be.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
But it's a chicken or egg thing.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in my chat loved it and said it was great.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
really great job.
Yeah, thank you guys for having. When I messaged you, Carl, I was surprised. Like you were like, "Can you do this tomorrow?" I'm like,
Yeah, I literally just messaged him yesterday because we were looking for places. Well, not everybody wanted to have their stuff streamed, which I totally understand. So
yeah, oh sure, totally.
Yeah, I appreciate you for being willing to do that and make everything happen so fast.
Thank you guys for playing. And yeah, if people want to listen, go check out Escape This Podcast. If people want to learn more about my work, my name is Tommy Honton. I make immersive junk. I actually did a really cool ARG that was horror based in LA that took place on Instagram. That was built for quarantine called Arcana. So yeah, there's some fun stuff I've been doing, but it's been a cool challenge to do stuff online in these dark times.
Where can people find you and find your stuff?
Yeah, I'll send a link in chat.
Yes.
They can just go to my site. It's just my personal. Oops, I can't. Tommy, not good typing.
TommyHorton.com.
Honton, it's an N.
TommyHonton.com, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Spam that in my chat.
If people, and again, you can just read about the junk I've made. I've done some cool stuff, but yeah, when people are done hiding out from quarantine and the world is done burning, come visit Stash House in LA. You guys have a standing invitation to come anytime. And
that's awesome.
10 for 10
if I make any more of these, I'm happy to run them for you again.
Apparently there are 2 podcasts, by the way. Is it Escape This Podcast or Escapeist Podcast?
Oh, Escape This Podcast.
I think
put the link in the chat.
Escapeist Podcast is about the video game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Escapist, yeah.
And also
I think did we crash the site or?
Oh God.
TommyHonton.com, right?
Yeah, let me see if you.
Yeah, we crashed it. Sorry.
Oh shit. Thank you. I will get that booted up again.
When it goes back up, you better click it, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Send me hate mail if you want, but thank you guys again. And just to say, you're all amazing. I enjoy watching all your videos, and they have provided much needed entertainment during these dark times. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And fun. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Tommy.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Want to go talk to our chats?
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
Guys,
thanks, guys.
Thank y'all for doing
everyone.
this. Yeah,
that was so fun.
I had so much fun.
Love you guys.
We need to do this
Bye.
again.
Bye.
Yeah, 10 for 10 would do this again. So, oh, that was super fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. That was super fun. I hope you guys had a good time. Oh yeah, definitely want to do more. Definitely want to do more. It was really, really fun. We'll get it up on YouTube and everything as well. And I mean, overall, I just like, yeah, I want to do more. I want to do more. I really liked that they were very different too. I like that one was more of like a story thriller, and the other one was kind of like more, a traditional, like you're locked in a room here, do all this shit. I really, 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 really enjoyed them. Yeah, man, that was super fun. I had a great time. I had a really, 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 really good time doing that today, guys. Like a stupid, stupid, stupid good time. Yeah, like a really, 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 really good time. Like, really good. I want to do a lot more of that. Yeah, like a whole lot more of that, for sure. I hope you guys had fun. Yeah. Hey, did you know that if you like, comment, subscribe, you'll get visited by the like, comment, subscribe fairy tonight, and they'll leave a present under your pillow?